From the F3 Nation podcast studios.
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
This is the COT podcast, connecting the packs of F3 Nation through fitness, fellowship, and faith.
Andrew Maggio, 35, Wirebiter.
Mike Kirkos, 35, Saganaki.
Michael Barrett, 40, Rep Sleepy.
Peter Ranky, 63, Bambi.
COT podcast starts right now.
Shut up and sit down.
All right, welcome back to the Circle of Trust podcast. Today is Monday, June 30th, the last day of June, Men's Health Month. We'll keep doing it. We'll keep talking about it. It ain't cool. News of the nation. I did get an email today about GoRuck codes. It looks like I'm going to get a couple codes. We'll get a couple codes to help us not get one, taking one down, and maybe we can put one back up. I think we're changing the structure of how we're doing it. That hasn't been released yet, but I know that's coming up. Slaughter, rather. Slaughter had a birthday over the weekend, turned 50. I think that happened on Friday. And I made a mistake on our last podcast. I mentioned Dredd and how Dredd does not listen to these podcasts. He has since corrected me pretty quickly. And not only does he watch them, he's pretty current. That young man stays on top of things. And I just, for one guy that's challenged him one time, I'm just going to recommend don't do that. He's right on top of it and he wins. He wins. And so Dredd, appreciate you listening. Certainly makes me listen to the Whetstone a lot more often. Flea, did you have a good weekend? Do anything exciting?
Well, if exciting was our first 4-region UK National Convergence, then yes, it was absolutely epic weekend. 3 o'clock get up, 2.5 hour drive down, and in the end we got 59 guys together across the 4 regions. So pretty good. We were hoping for a little bit more, but a few people had to drop out last minute. Yeah. But otherwise, absolutely fantastic experience. I've put a few videos and drone videos and stuff. I put one on Slack a couple of days ago, and there's some available on YouTube now as well, as people are working through all the media and things. We're getting a few bits out just so everyone can see what we're up to in the UK. But yeah, absolutely, it was great event. Yeah, we did an hour and 10, hour and 15 beatdown. I queued that finisher in the end. Ran out of time to do the hyperspeed 6-point burpees that I was intending to do. We didn't get time to do them. So yeah, we had a great time, and then moved into a 2-hour discussion on leadership and personal development and the G3L strategy. And bear in mind, we're looking at the maturity of the whole organisation. We've got regions there that have been running for 4 years, and we've got regions that have only been there 4 months. So we've got a wide spectrum of guys turning up to them. Some of them not even aware of G3L concept, not aware of what we do in F3, because we had some FNGs turn up for a convergence, which is, if you can imagine that as turning up and it's your first exposure to F3, is almost 60 guys around in a massive ring shouting out cadence counts on slash rattle hops. You wonder what the hell's going on here. But yeah, it was well received, and those people I was talking with, the newer guys were really, I think, blown away with what we do and how we do it, and the message that we're trying to achieve and the mission that we're trying to work towards. So yeah, it's growing faster than I thought it would do. The momentum that we've got going up in my region in Yorkshire is exceptional. But yeah, it's long may it continue. We've got big plans. We want to keep on thriving and keep on planting and keep on growing. We'll see how it goes.
I love it.
So yeah, excited.
One of the, you talked about growth, and not only is it growing everywhere, but it's growing everywhere, meaning that it's reaching out, but it's also reaching in. And one of the things F3 I think does well is open to all men. And if there's one discussion I get into a lot, it's about the open to all men and what barriers do we create inadvertently, or what do we put in place where guys just don't want to come anymore? And that does happen. Guys decide, you know what, something happened out there and I don't like it and I'm not going to come anymore. F3 tries its best to remove all barriers. And today, we're going to have a special conversation today. I got reached out to about 2 weeks ago. We got a story coming your way. And I really haven't dug into the details, so you guys are going to get to hear it about the same time I do. But Flea and I get a chance to interview 2 men. And if you guys want to introduce yourself, tell us where you're coming out of. And but we got CAD, and I think we got Turkey on here. CAD, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Matt Anderson, 53, CAD, Site Q out here in just south of Jacksonville, in the Boondocks region. And this is my son, Parker Anderson. He's my middle son. I've got 5 kids. I think I've gotten all but one out to a workout so far. But he's the one. He's yeah, he's my middle son. A lot of fun things. He used to when I started back in 22 going to F3, he'd come down. He'd be downstairs. He's got some intellectual disabilities, but he'd come downstairs early in the morning, get up way too early. And, he'd run back upstairs because he's like, Dad, I don't want to go work out with Dad. I don't want to work out with Dad. He was afraid that I'd make him work out. Well, about a year ago, I think it was May 6th of last year, he decided he wanted to come out. So he came out. He's been coming out to the house, AO house, for a year now, working out with me. Yes. In fact, there are a couple of times when I've dropped him off and he's wanted to go, right? Because I've got another commitment or something. Brother picks him up and this and that, but he has a blast. He loves it. Loves convergences and things like that. So, a couple of weeks ago, I picked up the queue for Saturday, and and I did my Monday queue, and I asked him that night. I said, "Do you want to queue the workout with me on Saturday?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I'll do that." So he spent all week sitting typing away at his computer, trying to come up with different things and different stuff, different exercises. And we kind of put together a workout. And it wasn't, I think, until about Thursday that I kind of told everybody that this was going to be his VQ, and I was astonished. I mean, we got 18 guys out for his VQ. Mr. Woodchuck was out there. Our Nantan Scholes was out there. And a lot of the regulars at the house, a couple guys from my shield lot came out, and we just had a blast. Parker, you want to tell them what did you want to do? Work out, but you wanted to what? Run. And I, around here, boondocks, I'm the 6. I got bad knees. I don't run.
Same.
I tried convincing him, let's just run around the house, which is like a third of a mile. No, there's a nice big pond and it's a good mile and a half. So, start out with a pearl on a string. I handed him little note cards. So Friday night, I wrote it all down for him. He gave the warm up and the disclaimer, and then we took our cinder blocks over to the field and then, started our run and handed him the paper, and he takes off and, just had a blast. Right. So I had a lot of fun. Fun thing was, as he just takes off and he's leading everybody, and I think Botox said, does he know where to stop? And I went, no, probably not. So off go a couple of the older guys to go chase him down and get him to stop, about a third of a mile later, stop and do the first exercise. So we worked our way around the pond, went through all of our exercises through that. And, I think towards the end, we introduced, what did you want to introduce? We introduced what exercise was it? The turkey. The turkey. So F3 has been, kind of kicking my butt, and as a man, I've started coaching Special Olympics. So, we do Special Olympics bowling this time of year, and that's where his name comes. 3 strikes is a turkey, right? So we got the, one-handed cinder block, three, single Cindy swings, if you will, with one hand, and then switch to the other and do 3 in that. So we kind of inaugurated the turkey to do a Cindy swing with 3 hands, or three swings with the cinder block. So we practiced that without it, and then when we got back to the field, that's when we kind of did a little ladder, and we started off with the turkey, right, to get everybody to do that. So yeah, so it just ended up being Father's Day weekend. Didn't plan it that way. Didn't think of it in that sense, but I got my son to actually cue a workout. He had a blast.
So I want to be a little bit more clear. Every 8 weeks or so on Slack, we get this big discussion of whether 2.0 should be allowed at a beatdown or not. And what makes this situation a little bit unique? So I know we're talking about 2.0, but this isn't that discussion, correct?
No, he's 22. He's an adult.
22.
So we've been a little, there's another another PAX. The house, we're, Rivertown is a big neighborhood, and we have a Monday and then we have the Saturday. So we've done some 2.0 friendly workouts, but Botox, his son is 16. He'll come out every once in a while. And it's very, very, we encourage them. Right. So, so for the past year, it's been a blast. We've had a number of those. And in fact, I think this Saturday is we're doing a 2.0 friendly workout again, and a couple of guys bring their daughters out and things like that. So, but no, this is, Parker, Turkey, he's got some intellectual disabilities, suffered some seizures and things like that. So my special kid, right? Cadence counts 13 and 14 usually get missing, and his burpees, are 4 times faster than the rest of ours because he counts every movement, but he did a really good job.
Now my burpees are really slow. So I'm not setting the bar real high. Now, in my other life, I was a professional educator for 20 years, administration and teaching in the classroom, all devoted to special needs children. Mm-hmm. What I found, though, through that time was the amount of obstacles kids face, a system that doesn't allow for uniqueness and individuality. And certainly there seems to be a pace that you're supposed to keep up with. And if you don't, then it's your fault. What kind of accommodations, and I know we talk about the disclaimer and modify as necessary, but what kind of things to cue a workout for an adult with disabilities to cue a workout? What kind of obstacles did you have to overcome?
In this case, a lot of it was direction, right? I kind of, when I formulated with his help, right, he's like, I want to run. I said, well, all right, we got to figure out what to do. He's not going to, he's not been into enough workouts, right, to know what a pearl on a string is, right? So we kind of worked on that a little bit, but I wrote it all down for him so that he could follow it out. It's pretty good. And I, handed him the disclaimer one, handed him the warm up, and then all the pearls, and then we had a whiteboard for the workout at the on the field with the Cindy's, and then just some regular encouragement. He got about 3/4 of the motto done without without looking over to Dad and going, what am I forgetting? But he's been to enough that he kind of knows them and knows them pretty good. We practiced the cadence. I had him watching the cadence video a couple of times. All right. What else did we do? Yeah. Just keep running. Yep. Yes. But he, so yeah, I kind of helped him with the structure of that, and we kept it his speed, and he kept it in full 5th gear the entire time.
Yeah, it's such a heartwarming story. I mean, and especially that pride you must have felt as well on Father's Day weekend. It's it must be really great for not only you but also your fellow PAX to see that in action too. So
it was, had any of the PAX said, "Oh, this is great on Father's Day," I probably would have realized, wait, it is Father's Day weekend, and I probably would have started bawling. But everybody's like, yeah, good job, Turkey, and you got to be really proud of him. I'm like, I am, to see him come, one of the things that he's always struggled with is, that self-advocacy. So like, what other way to do it is, get in front of 18 guys that kind of love him, regardless, and just go out and do it. Right. It was awesome. It really was. Now you're going to make me cry.
I think that's synonymous though with how we work in F3. I mean, if there's anyone taking a cue, regardless of what obstacles are in their way, the rest of the PAX will support them. We're not there to judge. We're not there to knock them down. We're there to help and develop and grow leaders. That's the whole mission of what we're trying to do. So, we'll be fully behind anyone who gets up and takes that cue, takes that lead, runs that 45, 50-minute session. You're there. You've got those guys behind. Okay, you're telling them what to do, but they're behind you. They're behind you, and they'll get you through it. So, that's everywhere I've seen.
Yeah. The problem is he's now set the bar, and it's like, hey, CAD, you're going to have to level up your game. Because this was a smoke fest. I will say, I don't think I've spent that long in zone 5 at a workout.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's an hour-long workout, and I spent almost half of it in zone 5. The other half was in zone 4, so my heart rate was going. But it was intense. It was really good. and everybody had a blast. So
sounds like a really well-designed workout, though. I mean, it's great to have that level of intensity, and especially someone doing their VQ, doing it for the first time. You're getting the rest of the packs to work really hard and do lots of running. It's a great feeling to be a PAX member when the queue's taking you through that.
What did you have to tell a couple of guys? Get back to work.
Yeah, run faster.
Yeah, we had a couple of guys just a little bit of too much mumble chatter, but it was good. It was good. Did you enjoy doing it?
Yes.
Yeah.
When's the next one? When's the next one planned? Is my question.
I don't know.
Don't know.
We'll have to find one.
Yeah,
we'll get another one in here over the summer. So yeah, we'll get one. Right.
Right.
Now, F3 is a leadership group. I know we're growing leaders. And have you seen Turkey kind of apply any of those leadership principles at home? Is he able to take more command in independent situations? Have you seen any rollover from hanging out with F3 to regular life?
Yeah. He's gotten much more independent in this past year than I think a lot of some of the therapies that we've had him in. Those make certain goals, but this is kind of just stepped him up, a lot more. And we've got a lot of room to grow. He has definitely grown in this past year. He looks forward to it every Saturday. So
Has he EH'd an FNG yet?
I don't think so. No, he's not that talkative. Although you need to convince your brother.
Okay.
You need to convince your brother. There's one older brother who unfortunately works at a golf course, so he's also off working at too early in the morning in the gloom, so he hasn't been able to join us. But he wants to get his brother on, so working on that.
I really wish my children would respond to the urge to get out and do something active. I'm really jealous that Turkey have got that bond together while doing the exercise. I think that's a really nice thing. My two are a little bit too obsessed with the electronics, and it's a struggle to get them out of the house. So they have soccer matches every Saturday, but doing anything else, the thought of going out for a run, for example, is not met very kindly to even suggest that. So it's great you've got a common interest and you're doing it in a healthy way. So yeah, I really admire that.
He's my consistent one. His younger brother, he'll come out and he did the Kraken with me, and then we did the Swamp Thing, which was canoeing and rucking. He'll do that. He's not big into the boot camp exercises, but I got him out the summer before. But I got my daughter out over Thanksgiving because I teased. We did an hour long workout on Thanksgiving made it 2.0 friendly, right? Before you eat pie, we'll do some exercising and then we'll play ultimate frisbee. But I only told her that we would play ultimate frisbee. I didn't tell her we were going to do some exercises, but that got her out. So,
and remind me, how many packs came out to that workout?
18.
18 is a lot, and then that's a Saturday, so I'm just guessing maybe the numbers boost a little bit on Saturdays, maybe. But what could other F3 regions learn from Jacksonville? I'm guessing it's F3 Jacks about that, creating that type of environment where not only are we going to open it and welcome it, but we're going to support it, and to all men. And what can we learn? Do you think what can we take away from it?
Yeah, everybody's been incredibly supportive, right? He's come out with me pretty much every Saturday, bar a few, hit a number of convergences that we do throughout the year, and everybody has a blast. Everybody knows him. Growing up in school, he kind of was the mayor of that school, right? Always a smile, always cheerful, but he loved the support, right? And it goes a long way to encourage others to with intellectual disabilities, to see them, to help them, right? And that's been the fun thing at the house is, when we do have those tools there, how do you do a Merkin right? How do you do a burpee right? Right? What are the movements? Like, let's focus on that and get those things so that we can encourage that. And even if it is, occasionally having them just count down backwards from 10, right? While you're holding a stretch or leading a warm up, it's the encouraging aspect of it. And it's just done wonders for Turkey.
I'm blown away, to be honest. It's such a great story. The whole family. Yeah, no, I'm just too busy listening. I've lost the ability to think of the next question. I've just got engrossed with how good it is and how the rest of the guys have got behind the both of you to get that BQ done. It's really heartwarming.
Yeah. No, it's been a blessing. F3 is kind of changed my life. Made me realize really, I needed to step up. So I coach his Special Olympics bowling. I coach his Special Olympics golf. We got to be a deacon at our church. So it's made a huge difference in my life, in my marriage, and then, leading my kids. I've got 2 going off to college next year. So it's, that just means Turkey and I are going to be doing more F3 stuff.
Any goals? Any kind of fitness goals? Any running a marathon?
Yeah, I'd love to, but I don't think that right now it's more losing weight. I think when I started F3, I was about 250. I'm down to 218 now. So I need to get rid of that extra 18. So I want to get down under 200. We'll see, right? Working on that, right? So, and then want to get him a job and get him much more independent, right? So we'll work on that as well. So when are you ready to cue again?
Maybe soon.
Soon? Okay.
Soon. Excellent.
Turkey, if we gave you a big old mic so you could talk to all of F3, what do you think about F3, and what words of advice do you have for all the guys?
Good.
Say that again?
It's good.
It's good. F3 is good.
Yep.
Turkey, I just want to say how much of an inspiration you are. It was really cool. I queued last week, and I still get nervous. And to hear you stepping in front of a bunch of dudes as a 22-year-old young man is incredible in itself. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It inspires me to no end, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. What else you got? Anything? Am I playing music and cutting this off? Are we done?
Yeah, I think he's done. No, it's been great. I'm glad that the woodchuck told me to,
A couple of things. I was having a browse through Slack, as I can do nowadays, having a look at the events and what's going on. Have a quick look on the first, second, and third F channels, and just to see what people are posting. We can only really talk about them if people post them. Huck, we're not mind readers, so this is where I like to look through and see what's going on. So lots of chatter, and it's quite apt coming from a British guy about the workouts, the theme workouts this week for Independence Day. There are lots of guys posting and advertising. There's some special events going on, some C-subs going on, 4th of July themed, 1776 themed, if I remember my history. I dropped history as soon as possible in school. So lots of stuff going on around that. So I'd be interested to have a look at any backblasts that pop up and see what's going on. Get rid of those British once and for all.
We got a great week coming up. July starts tomorrow. Set those goals. We're closing out Men's Health Month, but doesn't mean we're stopping. All right, I'm gonna play some music, and everybody hang on tight.